welcome back to another episode of the Playbook here on the Boise Beat. Today I got my boy Hondo Rondo.
It's been a long time coming.
It has, bro. It has. A lot has happened over the course of this last month or so. Really,
Yeah.
it's been a minute, but can't do an episode without talking about, especially to start, with the biggest trade possibly in NBA history. Luka Doncic, the Don, Luka Magic, getting traded to the Lakers.
Not much to say other than it's a conspiracy. NBA just wants to have a Lakers-Celtics Finals again. They missed it. Gotta get them ratings up.
For sure. I mean, they said that this last Celtics Lakers game was like the highest viewership a regular season game in like the last 7 years.
Yeah, almost like 5 million viewers.
Yeah. Dang. I mean, Celtics Lakers does numbers, man. I
Hey,
think
all I know is a Chrysler 300 looked like a Phantom till a real Phantom pulled up. You know what I mean?
ooh,
That's all
that's
I
the
know.
bar.
That's all I know, dude.
Hey, you're not wrong. Because Lakers were on a good win streak until they seen the Celtics
Yeah.
quite recently. No, but I mean, it is exciting for the league. As dumb as Nico Harrison is that his name? Nico Harrison.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that he's been getting he's been under heavy scrutiny after that trade, rightfully so. I mean, when you have one of the best young players in the league, I mean, anybody would want to build around that guy. And one of the few untouchables you'd think, but he traded him for Anthony Davis, an aging star, and he played one game, and now he's out for the season, I think.
Yeah. He's out for the season. Yeah, ever since that trade, it's just been downhill for him. Kyrie tore his ACL. We've had a couple other people injured. I think the last game they played, they only had 7 players to play with. You know, just been downhill
Mm-hmm.
since. But Nico Harrison and Jerry Jones are battling out to see who's the worst GM in Dallas right now. I can tell you that.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that too, because free agency and Cowboys always talk of the town when free agency comes around. Not for their
Not
big
for good
signings, but
things.
yeah, for who they're not signing. But yeah, I mean, this trade, I think everyone in the league was surprised by it, even all the players around the league. I mean, LeBron says he didn't know. Who knows? Because everyone knows he's called the GM. He knows
That's what I'm
everything.
saying.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, no one saw that coming. I think everybody was shocked. I know a few Mavs fans that were heartbroken, and they're still going through it. I don't even know what to tell them because, I mean, they seem like they're cursed now. Half their team got hurt after trading Luca, and not only did they trade him, but they were calling him fat in the news headlines for like the next
Yeah.
week or so. I don't know about you, but I'd be pretty pissed if I just got traded to a franchise that was going to build around me, and then they just call me fat the whole time after I'm gone. I mean,
Well, I
I'd be
mean,
pretty motivated.
it all started back at the Western Conference Finals when they won. Luka just trying to have a beer, and Nico Harrison wasn't having it. You know, it just
Yeah,
started back then. Luka just try. He's 25, bro. Let him. He's living
for
life.
real. Hookah Luka.
That's what I'm
Let him have
saying.
some fun, man. And I mean, there's pictures resurfacing too of Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash from their partying days.
Hmm.
And you can see they barely look like they're even there. Yeah.
They're barely awake. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, this was the Mavs superstar back in the day too. At that age, like, what do you expect, man? Like that, and that's crazy because I mean that was his first finals appearance, so you're expected to celebrate. Everyone does
Hmm.
when you make it to the finals. So to take a beer from him, and that was obviously went viral on the internet. But yeah, that is kind of the start of all this of what's going on here. They're like babysitting him, and when he didn't lose the weight that they supposedly required, they just
I,
booted him.
I think what also baffled me is after the trade went down, Nico said that he didn't need to talk to Jason Kidd about it because he knows what players he wants. He knows what players he wants, and I just like.
Yeah.
Man, that is just tough to hear, tough to see. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
When they were at the press conference for the trade, even Jason Kidd was kind of like, he's pissed off, like he got dragged into it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
speaking for Jason Kidd. And so obviously he had to back him up and, back up the organization for the decision, even though I can guarantee he didn't approve that.
yeah.
And Mark Cuban, I was wondering, I remember asking someone, I'm like, this don't make no sense because like Luka is Mark Cuban's boy, ever since he got drafted, like that's his guy. It's like, how did this happen? And then someone had told me that he had sold a majority of his
Hmm.
ownership.
And he's given up a lot of his basketball operations. So I mean, he's really not part of the team.
Yeah, I heard I read somewhere that he did try to make a call last second, but they already did like a shaking of the hands, if you will, like uh virtually. So like the deal was
Hmm.
basically done, so he was too late, but he was like doing everything he could to like make sure the trade got canceled and stuff. I mean, there was a
I mean,
rumor. I mean,
I
not a
mean,
rumor, but he was quoted as saying that he'd rather divorce his wife than trade Luca.
yeah. I mean, he said it himself. He said, if it came down between, you better get them divorce papers ready.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and but man, like it still blows my mind because like this guy just took his team to the finals, is playing hurt, doing all he could, but one of the few untradables you'd think, but here we
I
are.
mean, hey, for him to end up in the Lake Show, I think the NBA had to be somewhere a part of it. I mean, you don't just the NBA viewership was down, everything was going down. What better way to bring it up than to take one of the rising stars, actually superstars in the league right now, and put him on the Lakers?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Lakers Celtics is what carried the league in the 60s and then revived it in the 80s.
Hmm.
And then I mean, you still got it when the Celtics went back to their first championship. Of course, it had to be against the Lakers after not going for I think it was 22 years.
Yeah, I mean, from
So,
'08 to like what was it, 2011, we had the runs against them.
yep. And they were 1-1 in those finals matchups. Kobe had 2 out of those 3 years, but like the rivalry was there. And
Yeah.
I mean, what better way than to revive it? And I think the NBA is in such a good place. And I know Adam Silver is salivating over the potential finals matchups because, I mean, let's just say, because the East is a little bit weaker. I mean, everyone's talking about the Cavs. I mean, this is the same scenario last year. Everyone's talking about Cavs, Knicks, what have you. We all know NBA playoffs are different. You can get excited all you want about certain teams, maybe having a chance, but when playoffs come around, it's different.
Hmm.
So, but let's just put it into perspective. Let's say, not even including like, let's say the Celtics were to make it to the finals. Look at 4 potential matchups that I think the NBA would just absolutely love, and the ratings would be huge. You got the Lakers with the history of the Celtics Lakers, with Luka, who just played in the finals against the Celtics last year, and LeBron, who started off his career losing to the Celtics, and then like his next decade, he was just owning the Celtics.
Yeah.
And so the history there, and then another potential matchup would be Warriors, who have been hot since getting Jimmy Butler. With his history with the Celtics, and Curry was the last team to beat the Celtics in the finals.
And then the
You know,
history with that man, Jimmy Butler.
yep,
And
yep,
then I mean, then you got the Thunder, the up and coming Thunder. They
yep.
seem to be ready. You know, I could see it'd be my picks. I could see the Lakers or the Warriors doing it if they're
Mm,
healthy. If they're
yeah,
healthy, I think I could see them going to the
yeah.
Western Conference Finals. And I could see them beating the Thunder. I know a lot of people are really high on the Thunder, but I just think they're still too young. They really haven't given me a deep playoff run. It was something the
Mm.
Celtics went through when they first started getting really good.
It took a long
Um,
time for them to even make the finals. I mean,
yeah,
people forget it was like 4 or 5 straight years ago to the conference finals and not getting it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You just gotta get that experience. You gotta get those calluses, as you will. And I just don't think the Thunder have that. And then outside of, I mean, as good as those other players are, I don't know if the Thunder have a second option that can do what Shea's doing.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I love the Thunder too. I think they're going to be one of the future up and coming teams. But I mean, with all the other teams that are more, I'd say, ready, they got the vets and the guys that know how to turn it on come playoff time and know how to
Mm-hmm.
sneak out those big time wins. I mean, you got the Nuggets too. People forget they're still playing really good ball again this year. They got a lot of good options to shoot the ball when it gets late, and they were the last team to win the finals besides the Celtics.
Yeah.
So the year prior, so that could also be a potential matchup in the finals. Last two finals champions. Either way, you got a story. And the story is going to
Mm-hmm.
write itself. And I think it could get very interesting to decide if the Celtics have a dynasty or not.
Yeah, I
And
mean the Celtics have to win it this year. I mean Jaylen Brown said it just yesterday in his press conference. He thinks they're a better team than they were last year.
yep,
I mean last year was a historic season. I know throughout the year we've seen the struggles of them, but to follow up a historic season with another historic season isn't very realistic. But looking at their
mm,
stats and stuff, it's just like I mean, they're basically right there. I mean,
yeah,
outside of the Cavs and the Thunder are just having amazing regular seasons, and the Celtics are right under there. But um, I think the Celtics really just turned it up after All Star Weekend. After All Star Weekend,
yeah,
they were just playing around, and now they're turning it up. I mean, you see it in these games when they're playing. For instance, that Laker game, that felt like a game seven for them.
mm,
They turned it up when they needed to on defense towards the end of the game. JT had 40, almost a 40-point triple double. Like
mm,
I think they're ready to go. And the thing is, we're doing it without Kristaps Porzingis. People
yeah,
keep forgetting about KP. He's hurt right now, um, but once he comes back, he'll take care of it. I don't think the And then I mean, looking down the East, the Knicks, they can't beat anybody above 500. They they're just bottom feeders. It is what it is.
yeah,
Milwaukee, I just don't think they have the firepower to do it anymore. As great as Giannis
yeah,
is, the Cavs are just having a historic regular season, and we'll see if they can turn it up in the playoffs.
yep,
But I don't think they match up great against the Celtics either. I
mm,
mean, yeah, they're bigger, but if KP's healthy, they can't do anything.
yeah. And I mean, KP wasn't healthy last playoffs, and people want to say Mitchell was out, but that was like the last game after the series is basically already over. I
Yeah.
mean, but I mean, this is all things considered. Yeah, they could say that they're a better team this year because of the fact that a lot of their guys have been out for a majority of the year. Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis have been out, and so that's opened up roles for people like Payne Pritchard, who's probably going to win Sixth Man of the Year. You got this
Mm-hmm.
guy under contract, not even getting paid in the tens of millions a year, and he's out there dropping 40 with Derek White, who is their third option, really. He's scoring 40 in the same game, and then a few games later, you got Sam Hauser, another guy off the bench who's dropping 30, 33.
Right.
So when you got all those scoring options and everything, and like those aren't even your top guys, I mean, I don't know anyone else that's got that kind of depth.
Well, and like I say too, when you need him most, he will show up. Papa Al, dude. Papa Al
Yeah,
will show up when you need him the most.
yes, sir. Al Horford. Yeah, he looked like
So,
playoff Al against the Lakers. The LeBron was going
I
on ISO.
mean,
Everyone was trying to go on ISO with Al, and he was locked down.
JJ Redick said it in the presser. He said, "Yeah, we really wanted to attack their bigs. Unfortunately, Al Horford was awesome that night. You
Yep.
know, I mean, and then that's why I mean KP is so important because we got to keep Al Horford fresh because he can give you one of those iconic games to where he can will one of
Yeah,
those random nights.
for sure. I mean, makes you think of that time where Giannis got in his face and he just gave a little okay, okay, and then posterized him and took an elbow right to his head on the way down.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's games like that that can help
Yeah,
save the season.
yeah, and those are exciting games come playoff time. I can't wait.
hmm
It can't come soon enough.
But I mean, at the end of the day, the Celtics are going to repeat. I mean, there's just levels to this. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are the best duo in the league right now. They've got a great
Mm,
supporting cast around them. I don't think really anyone can match up with them. Anyone that comes out of the West is going to be beat up like they always are. The Knicks,
That's
they're
true.
I can see the Knicks losing to uh, a Pacers team or something like that in the first round. The Bucks, the Bucks are going to do what they do with Giannis. Giannis is going to do his best, but they don't have enough firepower. And like I said, with the Cavs, they're having a great
Yeah.
regular season, but at the end of the day, they also haven't proven to in a deep playoff run with the group that they have. Donovan Mitchell hasn't done it, or has. Yeah, he has. I think he got to the Western Conference Finals in Utah
Yeah, I think 1 year.
1 year, but I mean, all the other guys. I mean, Darius Garland, or is that his name? Garland,
Yeah.
Darius Garland. I mean, he hasn't done anything in the playoffs. None of these guys have. They're still a young team as well.
Yeah.
And I think it takes those calluses to know what to do in a playoff series. I mean, it happened to the Celtics when they went to the finals against the Warriors. They just got beat by a veteran team that knows how to win. Curry showed out when he needed to. I think it was game 4 in the Garden.
Yep.
He turned it on and had the game of his life, and that was the end of that series.
Yeah. Never forget that. Freaking Curry. The one finals that he really goes ballistic, and it happened
Yeah,
to be that one.
I mean,
He
and
was
he had to. He had
he
to.
he was unstoppable. Once he got going at the end of that series, there was just nothing. And then you got vintage Clay.
Mm-hmm.
He was all of a sudden was back to himself. It was probably the last time we've seen him like that.
Yeah,
Literally, we
yeah.
haven't seen him like that since. But I mean, there's a lot of moves and a lot of interesting things going on in the NBA, especially the Western Conference. I mean, the Thunder, we're talking about them as the future of the NBA. I mean, the Celtics are the most that are they're in a good spot, like entering their prime. Got some years. They're ready to win now. And you got a Thunder
Mm-hmm.
team that's not too far behind. Not quite there yet. Maybe we'll see, but they're up and coming. And then a team that keeps missing the playoffs, but won't be missing them for much longer. We all know is the Spurs, and everyone's
Yeah.
trying. Everyone's trying to get their wins now until Wemby.
I mean, Wemby's out right now for the rest of the season with the blood clot. Hopefully, he can get that taken care of and resume playing
Yeah.
basketball. Because I mean, the blood clot is what um, retired Chris Bosh early.
Hmm.
So it's a scary thing. Hopefully, he can get it situated and figured out, and he can come back to being the alien we see on the court. Because it's
Yeah.
freaking awesome watching him play ball. I can tell you that.
Yeah. He's unbelievable. Never seen anything like him. And then not only that, because they've got a guy like Chris Paul who just comes in and he's older now, but everywhere he's gone, he impacts winning every single organization. And the way he's affecting the culture, and especially in a tough year where Popovich recently had a stroke and he won't be returning this year.
Hmm.
But having a leader like that and a young guard like Stephon Castle, who played at UConn, that guy's a stud. And people, if you haven't heard of
Yeah.
him yet, but they will.
No, he's pretty good too. And then I mean, they got Darian Fox. And they're
Hmm.
in the hunt for Cooper Flag. If they can
Yeah,
get
that's what I'm
Cooper Flag,
saying. If
if they
they
can
get
get
him, it's over for the
it can be
future.
yeah, it can be Raps.
That would not be fair to put that guy with Wemby
Yeah.
to build around. And with Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox, I mean, holy, like they'd go from contenders overnight.
Yeah, I
Like
mean
two of
they'd
the
be really
youngest.
good. I mean that's what Wemby does for a team,
Oh yeah,
he's a difference maker for sure.
yeah. When he hits his prime,
Now
everyone's better get their finals now.
I do want to talk about a failed experiment over in the East. Them 76ers, man. I don't know. At the beginning of the year, I was told after PG signed with them, the Celtics better watch out. I don't know what
Yeah,
they want me to watch out for because
the process, bro.
the process has been going on for like 10 years, man.
You just gotta keep trusting the process, bro.
Not only did the Celtics rebuild, but they also turned into championship contenders in that time span. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I think Embiid's done, you know? He's having this surgery. They're either going to take a bone out of his hip to help his knee or just reconstruct it completely. I think he's done, dude. I don't think he's got any more
yeah,
ball on him. He's hurt every year.
yeah. And it's sad to see because I mean that guy literally MVP. He's one of the
I mean,
he's a
I
generational talent. Well, he is awarded the MVP. But I mean, the guy goes from like literally being the franchise guy, and I mean, people forget we didn't even know if Embiid was even going to be a good player. He didn't play his like first 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
Then
because
all of
he
a
was
sudden,
hurt.
yeah, literally, and he gets better every single year and becomes an MVP candidate, or at least one of the premier guys in the league. But always injury issues, always playing hurt. And I think there was a stat saying like what he's missed 50% of the games of his career.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's 50-50.
That is insane. And you just feel for the guy. I mean, he's big, so like increased chance for injury. It's a lot of weight on your feet and everything, a lot to carry
Mm-hmm.
around. And I mean, you hate to see it because especially a team like the Sixers, they're building around him, giving him a lot of money, and finally seemed like they had something going there with Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
And then you get your boy Paul George. Thanks, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And your boy Paul George. I mean, anybody outside of Philly knew that wasn't going to work, though. I mean, Paul
Yeah,
George
I mean,
hasn't worked since like what
he
2016.
hasn't been the same since he broke his leg, to be
Yeah,
honest. Maybe he had one good year in OKC, but other than that, man has been garbage.
yeah. I mean,
He's a better podcaster than he is a ball player right
facts.
now.
Yeah, people are trying to talk about Paul George the last few years as if he's like a number one, arguably a number two, and I'm like, that guy hasn't been even a number two since OKC. Even then, like he was still on the decline. I mean, obviously, definitely not a number two since that injury in Indiana.
Yeah,
What was it? It was before it was in the USA.
it was a scrimmage.
Yeah, and that was a brutal injury. And yeah,
Hmm.
those type of injuries can really hurt some of the greats. Because
Yeah,
I mean, he was very explosive before that, and he was
I mean
phenomenal.
he was battling it out with LeBron James and the
Yep,
Heatles. You know what I mean? Like
yep. Him and Roy Hibbert.
right, but
And Lance Stevenson blowing on LeBron's ear.
yeah, I mean the team was strong.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, I think anybody who really watches just knew that it wasn't going to work with the Sixers, and it wasn't really going to make a difference with what they got. I mean, he doesn't really impact winning that much, and to think that the Clippers traded Shea Gilgeous Alexander, as well as all their first round picks for Paul George, is still got to be the biggest fleece in NBA history.
Well, you know what else is crazy? I don't know what team it is, but the Sixers don't have their first round pick this year. I think OKC has it. I think OKC
Oh,
owns like 3 of the top 10 picks this year
yeah.
from the
Jeez.
Clippers, and then yeah, the Heat, the Clippers, and the Sixers don't own their first round picks this year.
The Heat too.
Yeah, I don't know. The Heat traded. I think it was when they traded. I can't remember. I don't know who they traded
Yeah.
for, what they
It
traded, but they don't have their first round pick anymore.
it's so funny because none of these teams like probably traded their first round pick directly to the Thunder, but it somehow ends up always ending up in their lap.
Yeah, I mean the
You
Thunder are set,
know?
man. They've got like 30 picks in the next like
Yeah,
5 years.
for real. I mean, if teams think they got a first round pick, they better double check because the Thunder probably has them now.
Well, and here's the thing too is Durant wants out of Phoenix. Maybe Durant has a little homecoming to finish out his career.
Yeah, I think we talked
Goes
about
back.
this a little bit at the end of last year, and I mean, I'm even more excited for it if this could happen.
I mean,
This
they've
would
got
take them into ready now.
the Suns don't have any of their draft picks. OKC says, you know what? Let me send you 4 first rounders, 2 second rounders. Give me KD. They rebuild.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. He might be a free agent after this year, no?
after next year, I think.
Oh, so you could even get him on a cheaper deal because
Well, because
if
I
he,
know this summer reports are saying that Phoenix and him are going to work on getting him on a contender.
oh, man, and I hate that he's not more open about like saying he would like to return home. I think they asked him about it last year, and he's like, no, I don't think about that. But it's like, dude, like this has started your villain arc, not just leaving them, but going to the Warriors.
Do you
Why
think
not?
they'd accept him back?
This is, I think so, because
It'd be like LeBron going back to Cleveland.
coming home. Well, that was different because Cleveland was a poverty franchise without him.
Yeah,
They
but I
needed
mean,
it. They
he
absolutely
left.
needed it.
He left, dude. He left,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like he was their savior, and he just left like that.
yeah,
Katie and Russ are supposed to be their savior, and he left.
yeah. But I think it's different now because I mean, OKC is literally a veteran like KD away. Like, and KD is still. People forget the disrespect on KD these last few years is insane. Like
Yeah,
this guy can still score, like with the best of them, and he's still one of the best defenders. He's not like at the level he used to be, but he is still one of the top tier players in the league. And you get him on a team with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, two dangerous scorers right there together, deep in a late playoff game, who can also defend. But the biggest thing is his veteran presence. With the guys like that, I think he's like the one missing piece that a team like the Thunder would need.
yeah. I mean, and then you got Chet too, and then you
Ooh,
just got all
people
them
forget
dog.
about Chet.
You got all them dogs on the wing that can defend. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's
I'm just tired of their post game interviews though.
yeah, dude.
Corny. Come on, bro.
They
Find
they called
a new bit.
they called JT corny, bro. It's like, bro.
I know that guy can't do nothing without the internet just hating on him.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Disrespect to that guy. He's just nothing but quiet and nice. He's just a good father. But let's hate on
Yeah,
this
that's what
guy.
I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
all he does is love his son. Okay, how is that not marketable? You don't want a guy like that. You don't want to market a guy like that. That's probably the best guy to model for your kid to look up to.
They trying so hard to market Ant. It's like, bro, Ant don't
And
even.
don't care. You don't want that.
He just want to score points. He even said it
Yeah,
himself. He just
you just
want to
want to
score
get buckets.
points.
You just want to get buckets. And Ant, I mean, who doesn't love Ant though? Ant's great. You know, Ant's pretty exciting. But at the same time, I mean, you got a guy like Tatum who just won the finals, man.
I mean, JT out here freaking.
He's been
He's.
breaking records. He's 19. He's only 19 years old and doing
I
this.
know. I've been 19 for like 6 years, bro.
Yeah.
The thing is too, he's like the norm for him is floating around triple double games now, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's it's crazy.
That's been the biggest difference for the Celtics.
I'll tell you what though. I guarantee you if the Celtics win the finals this year, he's gonna be a finals MVP. And then people aren't gonna have anything to say about well, I'm sure they'll figure something to
Oh
say
yeah.
about him. But
They
I
always
mean
have
it's like
something.
he's gonna be a two-time champion, finals MVP. He's got the most points in the game 7. Like
Yep.
just all these stats before 28.
Yep.
Like KD didn't even win his first ring before 28. Like
Yep. Curry didn't. Jordan didn't.
I think
the
they were
only one
like
was Kobe.
27. I think
Yeah,
they
the
were
only one
20.
was Kobe.
Yeah, and
But
it's like go ahead.
literally, no, it's like I don't remember who was saying it recently. I don't know if it was Jeff Teague or Paul Pierce, but they're saying that like he's literally, if you think about it, he kind of is already by default the face of the league because he's the most hated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they'll always have something to say. Like LeBron, obviously, has been the best player in the league, and I'm not saying Tatum is like the LeBron of the NBA the way he's just light years ahead of the competition, but the fact that no matter what, they're always trying to find something to discredit him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or peg him down a bit as if he hasn't been breaking records for like milestones at this age, like
Yeah.
all his accolades. It's insane.
Yeah, it's just the disrespect.
For real. And I've always been one of the advocates of like, hey, yeah, Tatum is the best player on the Celtics, but JB is not that far behind, like JB is a
Mm-hmm.
great player. Let's give him his due. And so I was all for it, when he got conference finals MVP. And then like I was all for it. I'm a huge JB guy. But finals MVP was kind of crazy because I mean Tatum led the team in every category.
That's what I'm saying. It's like no, not many people are giving him credit for that because
Yeah.
he didn't win Finals MVP. It's like okay, well, it was still split votes between JB
Yeah.
and JT, but JB also showed why he earned it too. The man locked
Yeah.
down Luka for 5 games
Facts.
and
Yeah.
was still hitting shots.
Yeah.
JT was doing it on the offensive side, like
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't. He and people don't. They underestimate. they underestimate him too because he also played center in that series.
Yeah.
JT was playing center and
Tell
was
him
still like, I mean, come on now, like the disrespect on my man,
for real. And
like
I was all for like giving JB as you because he's had that coming. That was way overdue. And then all of a sudden people are like, oh well, Brown is so much better than Tatum. Tatum's not even the number one option. And I'm like, bro, why we gotta pick one to hate? Why can't we just appreciate them both? Like, what's going on here?
right? Let's see.
You good over there, bro? You letting the
Yeah,
dogs out?
they just barking to bark.
You got him going pregame, huh? Say, where my dogs at?
Yeah, every day, dude. Every day.
No, but there's our Celtics rant for the day. But let's talk some football because NFL free agency just kicked off. And I mean, who doesn't love football news that'll keep you really for football being only 3 or 4 months a year? I love that there's like constantly news like throughout the whole year, like to keep you
Yeah,
busy
I
and
mean, we got the
keep you
draft
excited for
coming up
football.
soon.
Yeah,
We're in the middle of
exactly.
free agency.
Yep. I mean, a lot of cool moves already. I
I mean,
mean,
hey, that Patriots team's gonna look really nasty on defense. They're spending money.
they're putting down some money, and I'm excited. Mike Vrabel, I think his demeanor is the perfect. Like he's a poster boy for like you want a tough guy, like, and you
Mm-hmm.
want your team to resemble that. Like some tough guys, not give a shit. Like they're gonna punch you in the mouth. That's Mike Vrabel. You
Yeah,
know, like he is perfect for New England. I'm excited to see what they do with Drake May.
yeah, and I mean, they can get them some offensive weapons now. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah, they
also
haven't had a
really,
receiver since like 2018.
yeah. I'm also, I mean, I don't know how Chicago fans feel, but I'm also excited for the Bears too. They
Dude,
really
I've
wanted
been
that.
trying to convince Bears fans that.
They beefed up that offensive line. They got a center from Atlanta. They got Joe Tooney. They got
Yup, they got Jonah
um,
Jackson from the Rams.
yeah. I mean, they're gonna be stout. Ben Johnson gonna have them boys playing,
Oh yeah,
and what they
and
can do in the draft too. Who knows what they do in the draft?
that's what I'm saying. I feel so bad for Bears fans. They're a team. They're fans that have been hurt so much that they're like literally will not get excited no matter what moves they make. They're like, I'm not gonna get excited until until they start winning.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
like,
last
bro,
year they
like
were excited.
no, even last year they were like, I'm like, you got Caleb. That guy's a future like generational player, and they're all like, nope. Until I won't believe it until I see it. And I was like, dude. And then they went out and shit the bed on the year. But I mean, like this year, like you got Ben Johnson, and I called this at the mid-year last year. It's like if Ben Johnson goes to the Bears by the next year, and I will own it if I'm wrong because I called this at mid-year last year, but Ben Johnson was exactly what they needed for Caleb Williams, a young quarterback, getting a great offensive-minded coach like Ben Johnson. I think he's going to do wonders for that team, and they're going to be like big-time competitors for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was their offensive line, and they've shown,
Oh yeah,
hey, they're showing Caleb, like, hey, we're
yep,
gonna do it for you, man. You know, we're gonna get
yep.
some veterans in here that are proven, and hopefully we can go win some ball games. DJ
That's what I'm
Moore
saying.
and Odunes is gonna be
Odunze,
nasty
yeah.
on. Yeah, they're gonna be great outside.
Yeah, Odunze is going to be real good next year, another year to develop. But that's the difference between like you notice the really good teams and the poverty franchises. Because like the Bears last year, what did they go and do though? They went and built their receivers first, all the shiny toys. You know, the quarterback, they got the number one pick. You know, and their defense was good, but they're like, we'll build from the outside in. We'll worry about the line later.
Hmm.
And it's like, no, you cannot do that. All the best teams, the Cowboys, right? When they had that big run for a while, where they everyone talked about
I
first
mean,
was their O line.
it
Like that's
started
where they
up
built
front.
first.
That
Yep.
was the Great Wall of Dallas 2.0, man.
Zach
Travis
Martin.
Frederick, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith. I mean, come on, dude.
Yep.
Those guys are first ballot Hall of Famers.
Yep. Facts. Zach Martin and Aaron Donald going in the same draft. I mean, like 2 picks apart.
Yeah.
Like, how awesome was that? I mean, I remember yeah, I think the Rams were gonna try and trade back and get Zach Martin too, or one or the other. If they didn't get Donald, they were gonna get Martin, but the Cowboys ended up trading and getting it. But I mean, how great were those guys? They're going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. Sad to see him retire already, but
Yeah, I mean,
that's
Zach Martin just retired, made a grown man cry out here, what I mean?
I don't blame you, bro. I almost cried. I'm not even a Cowboys fan. I love Zach Martin.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just watching that offensive line just slowly tear apart, it's just sad seeing it.
Yeah, man, we're losing some great linemen, man. Or players just retiring early now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, they know what they see what Antonio Brown's doing out there. They don't want to end up like that.
CTESPN, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Antonio Brown out here rewarding cracker of the year. No, but I mean, you see, the guy's like one of my all-time favorites, and I think I'm cursed for like if I say this about someone because like my friend Colton, I always told him around the time I was like, you know what? Because he's a Colts fan, and I said Andrew Luck. I was like, he's gonna be the GOAT. I'll tell you what, because I mean, look at his first year. He went to a divisional round or maybe the wild card, but every single year he went around further to the AFC Championship, and then he ended up getting hurt the full season next year or something like that. But ends up retiring out of nowhere. After I just said the year prior, I was like, he's getting on GOAT trajectory. Like he's gonna be the greatest of all time when it's all said and done. And he retires like
Yeah,
out of nowhere because of injuries. And then Mike Trout, I was telling Colin, I was like, Mike Trout's gonna be the greatest of all time, bro. He's gonna be better than Babe Ruth, like unanimously. This guy is so good, and he hasn't been the same since I said that. He's had injuries constantly, and so I might be
dang.
cursed, but like your boy Andrew Luck, like that guy was this generation, this young generation don't even know. Like that guy he was that dude.
I mean, he even said it too. He said towards the end of his career, he just wasn't having fun anymore.
Yeah. It's so sad to see because he was just a phenomenal person and leader.
Yeah, yeah,
And to see him like get booed and the way that was all handled, at the preseason game, for those that don't know, he had been hurt again. He was rehabbing and everyone was excited for the season because the Colts finally had an O-line to protect him, had a defense. They had everything. They were literally, I think they would have been in the Super Bowl that year. Looking back at it now, they probably would have won the Super Bowl if Andrew Luck had stayed one more year. But, he was going to make the decision to retire, but then news got leaked. Adam Schefter tweeted it, of course, because he knows all your secrets. And that guy's tweeted, and while he's still at the game, so he's on the sideline in his hoodie, and the fans see it, everybody's checking their phone, and they start booing. And as he's walking off the field, that's his last memory in front of the Colts fans, because he didn't get time to really announce it himself.
yeah.
But everyone
He's
finds
just
out like that, and he gets booed off the field, and that was like, that is so sad. It's the most tragic ending.
yeah.
That one hurts to think about still to this day.
I mean, I just want to real quick talk about them 49ers downfall. Nobody I hate
It's
more than
crazy.
the 49ers and the Eagles, man.
Oh yeah, Eagles.
I
I'm
just
with you
got
there.
I just got that personal hate. So that 49ers downfall, everybody walking, they're releasing everybody, trading everybody. They gotta pay Brock Purdy. He ain't gonna have nobody there anymore.
Dude, it's crazy what's going on over there. It's sad because it's like it shows you though how small your window is in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah.
They
I
had put
mean
together
they're
one of the most talented rosters probably in NFL history.
yeah, I mean that roster was amazing, and then you just got the black magic of the Chiefs that just held them out. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. And they traded Fat Debo. I don't like Debo. I got love for a lot of the other guys. Dre Greenlaw. I don't know. He had his times where he played a little dirty. He was on the borderline, but he's a dog. And Fred Warner, dude, guy's phenomenal.
Fred Warner probably, but something about the Niners and drafting linebackers, man. You had
Dude,
Patrick
Patrick
Willis and,
Willis,
and
yeah,
Navarro
Navarro Bowman,
Bowman,
yeah,
and then they get Fred Warner too and
damn,
Dre Greenlaw, dude. Like they
for
they
real,
they know how to draft
yeah,
them, man.
for real, yeah, dogs. But yeah, I mean, it's all getting blown apart. I mean, when you see a guy like Hufanga, who's been
Yeah,
like one of the premier safeties in the league, and he's gone too, it's like, whoa, this is
and
for
he
real.
just went to an up and coming Broncos team,
Yeah, he always started with
and
Broncos.
he signed with the Broncos, dude. That team's in. They got Pat Surtain out there, and they're gonna have him out there too.
Yup, and And what really shocked me, that's when I know it was for real, like the rebuild. I was hurt, even as like a fan of just a fan of football. I mean, obviously I rock with the Rams and that's their rival, but seeing the heart of their team, Kyle Juszczyk, get released,
Yeah,
I was like,
Juice getting released was crazy to me.
for real, I was like, damn, you're not the fullback, not the best fullback in the game. That's a
I
dying breed
know.
right there.
Yeah, I mean, he was the only reason he was still alive.
For real. So I don't know what they're gonna do or how they're gonna redesign their offense because I mean, obviously all the things that
Well,
Juice
and
can
they
do.
just, I don't know if, I think it was their backup left tackle or whatever, Moore. I
Uh-huh.
don't know where he went, but he was usually the starter when,
Trent Williams went down.
yeah, but he
That's
signed
an
somewhere else too. They lost him too.
mm. But that's a huge question mark too. Now that you mention it, is Trent Williams because I mean he's getting older and he's had more and more injuries.
Yeah, I mean, and he's taking up a chunk of their money too. If they can find
Yeah,
a trade partner, you know.
yeah, and I mean the question is Purdy. I mean it all starts at your quarterback. You got to ask yourself: is he the guy, and is he worth
But
paying that while we're in cap hell?
yeah, I mean, you know, he's gonna be
That's a big time
asking for.
question.
He's gonna be asking for close to 50, 55 mil. You know, he's gonna want
Yeah,
that. He's gonna want that Dak Prescott money.
yeah, and I saw a report that's like they were expecting him to take a little bit less, so they were shocked when he didn't settle. He said he wants to be paid among the top of the guys. It's like, bro, why are you not surprised? Every quarterback, no matter how nice they are, what kind of guy you think they are, you're thinking, oh, they'll take a pay cut for the team. No, nobody ever does that. Like
Yeah, I mean,
Brady,
Josh Allen just got an extension, and then he
yeah,
got another one. He got two hundred
yeah,
and thirty million to guaranteed.
for real. What's going on here? I mean, but Brady was the only guy to do that. That was unprecedented.
Yeah.
Like looking back, it's even more impressive because no one does that. What Brady did, and that's why he
Mm-hmm.
was so great. That's why he's a goat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
And
Tennessee
then how?
Niners land. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, hey, your whole division's falling apart. Seattle just basically said they're gonna rebuild. You guys just got Devontae Adams.
Yes, sir. So glad you brought it up. But I'm pissed and Puka's changing his number, dude. I just got his jersey. Dude, Cooper Cup did that same shit to me as rookie year.
Dude, he got paid $2 million. You didn't see the interview?
I don't know if he took 2 million. There's no way
He took.
Devontae paid out that much for a number.
Oh, you know he did, bro. He paid out 2 mil for that number, dude. You know he did.
Maybe he put a Taco Bell in his house.
That too.
Yeah. But Devontae, I think, is a phenomenal pickup. I didn't know if they'd be able to get him without Rodgers, but to get him and keep Stafford, which I was also really scared about because I just got his jersey too. And I'm like, if they trade this guy, I'm going to be pissed. I was like, I just got a new Stafford jersey. But I was scared for a while because it's like, it sounded pretty serious. Like they were legit going to trade him if they could, if another team was going to give him the money he wanted. They're like, you can talk to any other team. And I was like, what are we doing? And they're like, if a team offers them a top pick, they'll take it. And they're
Yeah.
cool with running with Jimmy G. And I was like, in a quarterback, like a class like this is not last year's draft class, like
Hmm.
this one's different. So I'm like, do not trade your franchise guy when you have a win now that's a ready team and just trade your quarterback that's like, he's ready to win. You know what I mean? Like he's got it all
Yeah.
figured out. And so I was going to be pissed. And looking back, I guess the Giants of all teams, they met the number that Stafford wanted and the draft pick that the Rams wanted. And it was all the deal was done. They even hired his brother-in-laws. Yeah, they hired his brother-in-law as one of the coaches on the coaching staff. And last second, Stafford backed out of it
Dang.
to stay with the Rams and take less money. So like I was like looking back at it, I was like, that is genius by the Rams actually, because they're like, if you're ready to win now, do you want to? You can look at your options. Go ahead, but do you want to spend your last 3 years with the Raiders or the Giants? You know what I mean? Or the
Yeah.
Jets? Like they
Hey,
don't got it figured out.
the Raiders kind of might be. They might be a little nice this year. They
Yeah,
might be a
but
little
it's like,
nice.
but it's like the question marks because they're on the rise. Yeah, but it's like, are they ready to win now? Like we are. Do you want to spend your last
Yeah.
3 years over there with the question marks? And I mean, that was smart. They kind of like played it. They're like, you can decide, bro. But I mean, we're the best option for you.
I would not want to go to the Giants, dude. I mean, the
Yeah,
Giants are just
yeah. I don't blame him,
a dumpster fire.
dude. Imagine that GM. I saw someone there like their GM showing had to have been falling to his knees after that trade didn't go through. Dude,
Yeah,
after all that stuff that happened with Saquon, like
yeah,
that's why no one wants to do the Hard Knocks this year.
yeah. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be. It's curious to see who they're gonna choose for that this year.
They said they don't want to do it because that how embarrassing it was for the Giants GM. They're scared to do it, so they're following Belichick at North Carolina now for the
Oh, that's
yeah
right.
for the
That's
training
right.
camp. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I
That'll do
mean,
it, bro. When your
yeah,
kids, when your sons are drafting better than you,
yeah. I mean, shoot, dude.
he'll never recover from that, bro.
No,
That was
I'm surprised
devastating.
he still has his job.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, Seattle, sure, they got Sam Darnold. We'll see how he does. But I mean, Seattle's kind of in a rebuild, still got a lot to do. We just
Just
talked about the Niners. Niners really are kind of in a rebuild now too. Arizona, who knows what they turn into? You know,
yeah,
and your defense was young last year. They're gonna get a whole another year with each other. You got Puka Nakua, and then you got Tay on the other side. I mean, like
yep.
Tay still got some ball left in him.
Oh yeah. I think a lot of last year showed that, and people forget because he's been on the Raiders, who were just I don't even have words for them how bad they were, in those years.
Hmm.
And then goes to the Jets and their whole offense and their whole organization. So you can't. I don't think you can. I don't think it's fair that everyone's blaming Rodgers for all that's going on there. But I mean, he's shown flashes though last year of how dominant he was when he was getting the ball thrown his way, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he does in this offense. And I mean, the whole Sam Darnold thing. I don't know. I think he liked losing to the Rams twice a year, so he chose Seattle. I get it. But how about I want to talk about a few funny things because Miles Garrett saying he wants out of Cleveland because he wants to play for a winner. Money ain't everything, and then he gets paid like 40 million extra, something like that. He's like, you know what? I'll stay. I want to rebuild here in
Yeah,
Cleveland.
yeah. There's a meme I saw. It was Drewski talking. He was in an interview. He's all. So what he asked him, I can't remember what question he asked Drewski, but Drewski's all, man, I just love doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
I love all this, and then he just starts laughing because he's all, you know damn well I'm doing it for the money.
Literally. And then DK Metcalf saying he wants to go to a contender. He wants to go to a team that has a proven quarterback, and he wants to go to a place with warm weather. And so they shipped him off to Pittsburgh. He said, that's where I want to go. Out of all
Yeah, that's
places,
crazy.
Pittsburgh, that's super cold. They don't got a quarterback right now. And like just the uncertainty there. And it's like,
Well, I mean,
what is going on, bro?
him and George Pickens gonna have a heyday beating up on
Oh my,
corners.
oh my gosh, dude. We were laughing about that this last weekend, just as a hypothetical about how funny it'd be to see him with George Pickens
Yeah.
and how just like the numbers I would do, like for memes and stuff.
Well, I'll give you one better, dude. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are either gonna have Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson as their quarterback week one.
Yeah,
Mark my words. I thought I thought Rodgers was gonna follow the Favre
yeah,
story, but it sounds like they're gonna go with JJ as their starter.
yeah. I mean, that would still be. I think it'd be great for the Vikings, and I think it'd be the best scenario for Rodgers to go there for a year because they have such a talented team, and Kevin O'Connell's great. Give
Mm,
McCarthy a year to learn under one of the greats. But I've been a big proponent of Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. I mean, there's been a connection he's had with Tomlin for years, like complimenting each other, and he loves the city of Pittsburgh. I could definitely see him going to Pittsburgh
yeah,
for his last year. Thank you, bro.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
him in Pittsburgh, he's got two receivers to throw to. I mean, that'd be crazy. Crazy. Another one, I didn't even realize it. I forgot Daniel Jones got released. He's a Colts quarterback now.
yeah.
1 year, 14 million is crazy. That's crazy to me.
I would like to see him stay in Minnesota for another year and learn under O'Connell. Why do quarterbacks rush to get out of there when like you could take a year to sit back and
Daniel
learn?
Jones, he was in New York.
Yeah, but he went into Minnesota to end the year, remember? It was
Oh,
like
that's
at the
right.
trade
That's
deadline.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like if he would have just stayed for a full year, like think about it. The last few years, what has happened to players that have didn't rush to go to the next place at a dumpster fire to probably improve themselves in a terrible organization.
Yeah, I
Like, think
mean
about it.
Sam Darnold, Baker
Yep.
Maker.
Yep. So Darnold went to the Niners first. Okay. Great offensive minds. Goes to the Vikings. Revives his career. Great offensive minds. Baker Mayfield goes to the Rams. Resets over there, And even he took a chance on himself, went to the Bucks on a prove it deal, and he
Mm-hmm.
proved it. He's been one of the best. He's gotten better every year. Like,
Yeah,
who doesn't love Baker? But I mean, those guys are like, they've proven it right there. Like, don't be in a rush to go somewhere else. Take a year to sit back, reset, and also takes like the pressure off. Like, you don't have the weight of a whole organization and a fan base in a city on your shoulders anymore. Like, you know,
yeah,
and because these guys are so young, I mean, they get drafted and they're like 21, and they just got to all of a sudden, fix a franchise. That ain't easy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, let's see who else is making some moves. Not the
Who
Cowboys.
who did I wake up to Joey Bosa signing? Yeah, not the Cowboys.
He's going to the Bills.
Ooh, on a 1 year deal, huh?
Mm-hmm. One
That's
year,
crazy.
13 mil.
Approve it deal. I think because they're letting go of Von Miller. That did not work in Buffalo. They
Yeah.
paid a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Eesh. Yeah, I think he had more like domestic charges than sacks
Yeah,
last few
it's
years.
crazy. Yeah, Joey Bosa is gonna go to Buffalo. See how he does out, or not
Mhm.
Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo. See how he does out there.
And I make that joke, but I love Von Miller. I mean, he got the Rams a Super Bowl, baby. So I'll always love Von Miller. But I mean, injuries,
Injuries has
that's
hurt him
tough.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, the end of his career. He had one healthy year with the Rams. That year was big time. That's what got him
Another.
paid, though.
Yeah, another team too. The Bengals. What's
Oh
one
my
thing
god,
that hurt them
dude.
last year? Their defense. What did they go ahead and do? One of their defensive ends retires, and the other one's on the trading block. It's like, what are we doing, dude?
Yup.
And
Oh,
they still got to pay Jamar, dude.
dude, I am a big Joe Burrow guy. Everybody knows it. Burrow's my guy. I think he's the best QB in the league. Mahomes, Allen, Lamar Jackson, I don't care. To me, Burrow is the best. And so I want to see the Bengals do good and build around him. So you don't know how frustrated I am that they could have signed Jamar Chase last year for a decent deal, right? And now he's instead of doing that, now he's probably going to make 10 more million than he would have. T. Higgins, they could have signed him last year for under 30 million. Now there's no chance they get him for under that. They're going to franchise tag him again until they can cut him. Trey Hendrickson, they could have extended him last year too, and he almost damn near wins the defensive player of the year. And now you can't afford him. He wants to be traded. It's like the
Hey,
worst organization when it comes to like
I
this
got
is embarrassing.
I got another team that does it one better than them. It's the Dallas Cowboys,
Yeah,
baby.
all right. That's a good contender for that spot. Who
I
loses in the
mean,
offseason?
every single year, it doesn't even matter. Last year we're all in and we don't even sign anybody.
Yeah.
On top of that, they wait all year until literally Sunday of week one to sign
Yep.
Dak. Then they wait to sign CD Lamb. When you could have got this all done 2 years ago for
Literally.
cheaper, and you would have been fine. Same thing's
Hmm.
about to happen to Micah Parsons. You could have signed Micah Parsons last year or at
Literally.
the beginning of this. Now you see he sees that Miles Garrett just got 40 million a
I
year.
know. Why do you let these guys reset the cap? Reset the
That's what
the
I'm
yeah,
saying.
before signing your guys at their position. It's insane to me.
Then this year, Jerry wants to go ahead and say we're going to be selectively aggressive. What does that even mean, dude? You just cleared up all this cap space. We have at least 80 million in cap space to go sign free agents, and all we're doing is signing these 1 year, $5 million
Yep.
deals for people I have never even heard of.
Yep. I mean, this guy, I look forward to Jerry Jones every offseason coming up with a new phrase where he thinks he's calming down Cowboys fans. Like, oh, it's going to be like last year saying we're all in, doesn't sign
Yeah,
nobody. And the Skip Bayless tweet, all in my ass.
yeah.
That
I
would
mean,
be bottom of every.
it's ridiculous. It's getting hard to
Yeah.
be a Cowboys fan, dude.
I don't blame you.
I thought things were turning around. We extended Dak and CD. That clears up
Mhm.
cap space. That kicks the can down the road, so that way we can
Yeah.
sign players now. But the only thing we've signed is our kicker. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's the best kicker in the league, and our
Yeah.
long snapper. Like, what are we doing, dude? Like, you have this money to go spend and you're not spending it. Like, you can't rely on the draft to get it done. You just can't. Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, the Cowboys are great at drafting, but they've also missed on drafts too.
Yeah, you got to pick up some guys to fill some gaps in free agency. I mean, when you've had this is what disappointing is like. It's not like they haven't had the chances or like guys haven't wanted to go play there. They literally had the chance to get guys for cheap, like Saquon, of course, and Derrick Henry last year. Everyone talks about that,
Yeah.
but it's like over the years, I think there was a stat I read since like Jerry Jones hasn't signed anybody in free agency for over like 6 million since like 2017. It was like
So
hard.
2015 was the last time he signed someone over $7 million, which was Greg
Wow.
Hardy.
Yep, their
And
defensive
then
end.
2015 was the last time he signed someone over a $10 million deal, and that was Brandon Carr.
Dude,
And
that is insane.
I mean,
We're
it's
talking about
just,
the Dallas freaking Cowboys, one of the most
I mean,
prestigious
they got all the money
franchises
in
in
the
all of
world.
sports. Yeah, all of
Yeah, I
sports.
mean,
They're one of the most iconic and prestigious franchises.
yeah, I
What are we
mean,
doing?
right now, I mean, I think it's just to the point. If the Cowboys don't do anything for the rest of the offseason, this is where the Cowboys are. They kick the money down the line because you want to win now, but at the same time, you're not doing what's necessary to win now. So not only are you hurting yourself now, but you're hurting yourself down the road because you just kicked all that money that you're going to
Yeah,
have to pay anyways.
kicking it, hurting yourself later for no reason.
Exactly. And then it's just going to be, you're going to be in rebuild for so long. And, and Jerry's going to sit there and blame it. Oh, it's because we got no money. We can't. It's like, dude, well, you did it to
Or,
yourself. Like,
I'm
it,
surprised we're not in the Super Bowl this year. I'm honestly surprised our team is not here.
yeah. I mean, it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, if you're going to extend people, you've got to go make the moves now so we can try and win now.
Yep.
Like, you can't. I don't know, dude. They're a frustrating team to root for. I'm just happy I got the Celtics to root for.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Honestly.
Jerry Jones and it's just I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, man. They're not
Yeah.
thinking, to be honest with you. What's
Yeah.
that saying? What's that saying that they have? There's not enough pie for everyone. Like, shut up, dude. There's pie. You just gotta cut it right.
Literally. And it's crazy because it's like it'd be like the Yankees having all this money and just not going out and doing anything with it. It'd be like them
Yeah.
trying to build around their minor league guys. And that kind of has been the Yankees because now they're starting to pay guys again, but it's like, or pay the right guys, I should say. But I mean, the Cowboys, it's frustrating because it's like it's not like the Niners because they haven't gone to the conference championship or the Super Bowl, But in a sense, it is similar because it's like they have been competitive every year, and they're like, yeah, they really are really close to being contenders for the Super Bowl in the years that they've been good. Like they're only a piece or two away. That's what's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It's like they are close, but it's like the refusal to do that extra step, that extra one or two like holes, to fill those holes. And it's like,
Well,
how are you not?
what's crazy too is like I see all these trades go down, and it's like, how did Jerry Jones let Amari Cooper go for a bag of balls and
Literally.
everyone else? I mean, we paid more for Mingo, the receiver we traded from the Panthers last year, than what we got from Cleveland for Amari Cooper. And Mingo wasn't even a starting wide receiver
Dude,
for him, dude. And that's the Carolina Panthers we're talking about.
I'm not gonna front. I did not know who that guy was until they
I
traded
didn't
for him.
either. I didn't
Nobody
either.
knew him. They got him at the last second of the trade deadline.
Hon-
Like that
Honestly,
was
to
their
me,
big move.
that was just a slap in the face to Cowboys fans saying, "Oh, you guys
Yeah.
want help so bad? All right, we're gonna go get a receiver that no one's heard of." Like, it's been a big fu to Cowboys fans for the longest time now from Jerry, and everyone always blames Dak. Oh, you got paid 60
Yeah.
million. You can't pay anyone. Okay, well, we just freed up 50 plus,
Yep.
and what are they doing? Nothing.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a talk with Jerry. I'm gonna be in Arlington at the end of this month. I'll set up a meeting or something when I got some time because I'll be at the
Go
Red
find
Sox.
him, please,
But
and tell him you've
yeah,
got a very angry cousin.
yeah, I'll let him know. Honestly, if he gives me a spot in Dallas, on their in their front office, I wouldn't be too mad.
All right. He's gonna be like, oh, there. You're taking a step too far.
I'm like, bro, I can't be any worse than the Giants GM.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, dude. And what's
Yeah,
wild about it is you look at the Commanders. 2 years ago they had pipes with shit in it bursting on their fans, and the
yeah,
next year they're in the conference finals or
yeah,
the NFC Championship. And then this offseason they're making moves to help.
yeah. They're showing it. They're trying to make moves.
It's
Yeah,
like what they've done a better job in the last year and a half than Jerry's done in the past 25 years plus, dude. Like
yeah.
it just
That's
don't make any
crazy.
sense. And it's just the ignorance of them to sit there and think everything's fine, but it's not.
Yeah, and I don't know if we had talked about it. I mean, the Raiders are exciting. I love the hiring of Pete Carroll.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was covered the last episode. Yeah, I think it was, but I'm excited about them for what they're doing. The team I'm most excited about, the team I'm high on since last year when they got Harbaugh, I said that they'd be Super Bowl contenders this year. Not last year. I said they make playoffs, maybe get to second round. So I was right about that one. Got they got embarrassed first round, but they made the playoffs. Not a lot of people expected them to, because they didn't have any weapons on offense. But
right.
this year, if they make the right moves, like I've said, if they get a receiver or two for Herbert, maybe get Keenan Allen back for cheap and get another receiver as well, I could see the Chargers being Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I
And
mean
all the Herbert hate,
they got
get out of
Najee
here with that.
Harris too.
Yeah. Get out of here with all the people that are hating on Herbert that he's not a top tier quarterback.
I'm a hater
It
on him.
is
I
crazy
mean,
to me.
I
That
mean,
is
I'm a hater.
crazy.
I'm a hater. You can't give up a 27-point lead and tell me he's good, bro. Everyone says it's defense, but yeah, you got to
Their
score
head
some points too,
coach.
brother. You got to score some points too. Come
That was
on
their
now.
head coach, bro.
I mean, show me what he's done in the playoffs. He hasn't shown
All right.
up.
All right.
People want to talk about Dak's playoffs. Like Dak retired Tom Brady.
Ah, come on, bro.
He
Giselle
retired Tom.
retired. That divorce retired Tom Brady.
Now Dak put
He,
him to sleep. He put the
dude,
last nail in the coffin.
bro, Brady looked like he was 20 pounds underweight. And that's saying a lot because you know how skinny Brady already is, but his face was sunken in by the end of the year. That divorce, you could tell, put him through hell. He was trying to get through it, but like he was going through it, man. When you find out that your girl's jujitsu instructor has been teaching her more than just jujitsu or whatever it is,
That's crazy.
like that'll hurt, man. I don't blame him. Hey, but I'm just saying, Chargers, Herbert, watch out for him this year. If he makes the playoffs, if they get him some weapons, I guarantee you Herbert makes a run, at least AFC Championship. And I'll say that right here. We can come back to it at the end of the year. But Herbert, I'm tired of the disrespect from my boy. I think Herbert is one of the best, and he can be one of the greats, man. With Harbaugh, as long as because they're going to keep building on that O line, they need to get more pieces on the O line, and they need to get him some weapons. But Herbert, he's gonna be one of the greats, man. He's
Well,
gonna prove it.
how about my boy Lamar getting a weapon in DeAndre Hopkins, huh?
Oof. If only they would have got him. Man, Hopkins, he's been bouncing the last few years. I don't know if teams aren't
Yes.
using him right, if he just lost a step. I think a little bit of both. But man, I wish he would have been on a contender when he was really at his prime.
Yeah.
That guy
I
was
mean, he was
was
doing it.
doing numbers with like quarterbacks that had no business starting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he had like 8 or 9 different quarterbacks in
yeah,
Houston.
and was still like top tier numbers. That is
Yeah.
insane.
That's another
Yeah,
team too, Houston. Last year their offensive line wasn't very good, and they just traded away their best offensive line in Tunsil.
I think they traded away two of their starting linemen. I think they just
Yeah,
traded another
I
guy
mean,
recently.
I'm scared for his health, dude. He's got no
Yeah,
offensive line.
yeah, CJ Stroud, man. Maybe less podcasts this offseason. Unless he wants to come on this one, then I think he might help his career.
Yeah,
But man, he was talking a lot on the podcast the offseason, and because everyone was putting him up there with Mahomes. And then this last year was probably as bad as he could go, man, for the way he's
I
getting beat up.
mean,
That poor guy had no line. and I love CJ.
Yeah, they were a really good team. They had, that was one team 2 years ago. You look at and like, hey, this might be a team to look out for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they had a couple bad injuries, but yeah, their offensive line was a concern, and they just traded
Mhm.
away a really good one at left tackle.
Yeah. And that's why it's not a guarantee, bro. Year to year, like people, I guarantee, are going to be hyping up Commanders, saying, "Oh, Super Bowl on the horizon for them." It's like, dude, that's not guaranteed. We don't even know if they'll get to the playoffs, depending on how things go. I
I
don't know
mean,
if
I
the Eagles
think,
will. The Eagles
I
look like
think,
they're losing half their team,
yeah,
but
they're losing a couple. They traded away CJ, GJ. Who else? They traded a couple people. Or they lost Williams. Was it Mike? Their defensive tackle that just went to the Patriots.
oh yeah. And then they lost Darius Slay. They cut him. Isaiah Rogers
Yeah,
got traded. So like that's three other guys in their secondary. They
yeah.
re-signed Zach Vaughn, their linebacker. But man, a lot of their depth though, their depth guys, which is huge for
hmm
them. 'Cause last year they had a lot of depth. That's why they were so good.
But I mean, their GM knows how to work it, man. They know
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing. He
can't
knows how to
stand
build a
Philly.
team. I can't stand him either.
Bro.
You're telling me, division rival.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Them and the Niners, man. It's just that hate, that
Yeah.
hate.
Man, I mean, Justin Fields went to the Jets. I think that's probably the worst thing you can do, which sucks because I think Fields could be a great quarterback if he doesn't keep choosing the worst franchises for him. I thought Pittsburgh would be right, but unfortunately, they hired one of the generationally worst offensive coordinators. I don't know why they would do that, but he's still there in Pittsburgh. So now Fields goes to the Jets, which is like an organization that's everyone knows is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think whoever signs out of Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers first is gonna the Giants because I think it's Pittsburgh and New York left.
Yeah,
So I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. I mean, you got old man Flacco waiting out there too. Maybe he'll get signed, but I mean, I think out of those teams, they're just gonna choose whoever gets the deal done first is gonna end up with the loser.
yeah, yeah. Stafford was the first quarterback, really the first domino to fall overall in free agency for teams looking for. He was the best quarterback available. I mean, Rodgers would be up there if he wasn't older and coming off that huge injury still.
Yeah,
But like Stafford was that guy that everyone was like, where does he go? And then we'll decide from there. And with him staying with the Rams, I mean, they'll use Rodgers, Fields, Wilson, and it's like the options really aren't there this year in free agency.
yeah. I mean, we'll say this though. I know it's barely day two going into day three. Cowboys still have a chance to make some pickups. You guys just released Cooper Cup. That'd be a nice addition to the offense. Asante Samuel Jr. still out there.
Yeah,
There's still a couple of players we can get on the low. But I mean, the biggest winners, honestly, I think the Patriots.
yeah.
Patriots are Mike Vrabel's got that team humming now.
Oh yeah. I think whoever gets Cup is gonna get a steal. Because that guy, he is the most selfless guy you could get on your team. He's a leader. He's known for how good of a blocker he is at receiver, which most receivers are divas. And you see Cup is like the most selfless guy, great route runner, works the hardest. If he can just get healthy for a full season and get half of what he was, the Triple Crown Cooper Cup, I mean, in the right offense, I think this guy is gonna like, especially with the motivation of the Rams just cutting him, and he's like, "Can I take a pay cut?" And they're like, "No, we just want to move
Yeah,
on."
hey, we want to move on from you. You're 30 years old. You're not.
And then
You
signed
you
Devontae,
gotta.
32.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I knew you were going with that. And it's like, but it's like the biggest thing is the health, you know?
yeah.
Like
He hasn't
last year,
been
he was
healthy.
putting up numbers and then gets hurt again and didn't really get back healthy for the rest of the year. And so that's been their concern. But if he can find some of these vets, they get one healthy year on a contender, you know, one healthy year. Sometimes it's all you need to get a Super Bowl run out of it, and it's worth it. You know,
Yeah,
who knows? I think someone can get him for cheap, and they'll get a steal whoever he goes to.
yeah. I mean, I like I said, he comes to Dallas, that'd be great. You
Yeah,
know,
I think he'd fit in great over there too. His dad played there
did he really?
as a backup quarterback. He backed up Aikman. Yeah,
Everyone
Aikman
was
said he said on the broadcast. I remember he's like, "Yeah, I played with his dad, not for very long. He was barely there for a cup of coffee, but after he roasted him, he's like, but I miss you, man. I hope you're doing good. You know, reach out to me. Miss you." And it's like, dude, you say that after you just roasted for getting cut after a few weeks. Damn.
I didn't
But
realize that.
yeah, it's crazy. Like his dad played quarterback, yeah, so Cup's always done that. And McVay's grandfather, everyone knows, was the GM of the Niners in the 80s when they had their dynasty going. John McVay, yeah. The football connections, the more you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we're reaching the end of our time here, you know, so we'll close it out. But a lot of great things going on around the leagues, you know. I mean, NBA playoffs are right around the corner. And
Yeah.
the NFL, you know, free agency, a lot of moves going on right now. So there's gonna be plenty more to talk about. And I mean, baseball is coming up, opening day. I'm gonna be in Texas to see the Sox play the Rangers for opening day, the first 4 games. So
There you go.
yeah, so it's a great time for sports. You know, all three sports converging right now. Very
Yes,
hyped. So
sir.
lots to talk about in the upcoming weeks. But as always, bro, great conversation. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it, man.